Hey yo, what's up? If you feel like your edits are slow, your mechanics are inconsistent, if you feel like you're losing fights that you know for a fact that you should win, it's probably not your aim. It might just be your binds. Throughout this video, I will be explaining how to have the best and the most optimized binds. And that way, if you do play controller, you will have more freedom and more room to work with. I will also be giving you guys my setup and everything that I work with. My setup, my binds, and everything that I use. I will also be going over a bunch of things that I did wrong in Fortnite so that you won't make the same mistakes. I will also be giving you guys a bunch of controller tips. That way, you won't just have optimal binds. You will actually know what to do with them. But anyways, I have some teaching to teach and you have some learning to learn. And with that being said, you know how I do it. Let's get inside. First things first, what are optimal binds? To dumb it down is basically customized key binds that allow you to keep your fingers on your analog sticks at all times. So if you're the type of person to struggle when you switch between your weapons and you go to the wrong gun, or you just have your heels in your hand, or if you tend to reload sometimes and you don't mean to, or if you can't crouch as fast as you want to, or as quick as you need to, or sprint, or anything like that, this video is going to help you out a lot. First things first is freeing up your analog sticks. The best things to bind to your analog sticks is jump. That way you can jump and aim without taking your finger off your analog stick. Editing, I also recommend this just for your left analog stick because having it on R3 means you would have to stop to make an edit, and that makes you more choppy. So L3 is always the way. You can also confirm, reset, use it as a switch mode, crouch, slide, and even sprint. And there are some other ones too, so don't be afraid to try it out. These are just the best ones for your analog sticks. Some basic rules for optimal binds is to never remove your thumbs from your analog sticks. Wherever your edit button is, you must be able to tap it instantly. You should never ever have to think about it and then find it and tap it. Remind you, Fortnite is a fast-paced game. If you're a little bit slow or you're a little bit hesitant in what you do, you're gonna lose a lot of fights or a lot of opportunities. The reason that there's average controller players and there's really good ones is because they have optimal binds. They're not taking their time to tap these buttons individually. They're most likely together. And don't get on me too much. I kind of want this video to go by fast so you guys can learn this and get back to the game as fast as you can. No time wasted. Speaking of that, did you guys know you can overlap your buttons? They didn't say you can do this, but I figured this out on my own. To explain that, I want you guys to look at this first. We have action buttons and we have directional buttons. Anything that has a color, that has a letter or a symbol is an action button. Anything that's shaped like a box is a directional button. And to be honest with you guys, I don't tap any of them at all. I'm gonna tell you how, because I know some of y'all may be thinking that's kind of impossible, but it's not, I promise you. I don't tap any of these buttons with my actual fingers, and I can do every single action in Fortnite just as fast. And I'm gonna teach y'all how to set this up. You can overlap any button that you want, but I like to use R1, and this is how I do it. If you go over one tab to the left side, you'll be in your controller settings. And as you can see right here, I have quick weapon enabled. And this allows me to switch to my weapons with just one button. If you want to try it out, feel free to copy these settings. If you look down below, bottom right, you'll see that the button that I chose is L1. That is my quick weapon button. And if I double tap it, it toggles between my first two slots. And that's why it's called quick weapon. It toggles my first two slots and my first two slots only. And if you don't like the button that is bonded to, you can go to general and find it right here. And the only reason I'm telling you this is because normally you use L1 and R1 to toggle through your weapons. But in my case, I'm only using L1, which means that R1 is free. And this is not a problem for me because I only use two weapons to fight with anyways. Now I bet you're wondering, well, how do you get to the other slots? Watch what happens when I hold my quick weapon button, which is L1. Every single slot is gonna light up. And you'll notice that under every single one of them, there's an action button. Triangle, square, circle, X, all except for the first slot. And in order for you to switch to a certain weapon without going past any other ones, is to continue holding quick weapon and tap an action button. But let's say you didn't have to actually tap the action button. To put it simple, I just use paddles. My X button is bounded to my right paddle and circle is bounded to my left paddle. And I have it like this for a reason. That way they're physically aligned with what I'm looking at. If I tap my right paddle, it goes to the weapon on the right. If I tap my left paddle, it goes to the weapon on the left. And that's how I freed up R1 for me to use. Now I'm going to tell you all the buttons I overlapped on top of R1. I can sprint with R1. I can reload with R1. I can use with R1, which is interact, which means I can pick up loot faster and also pick up my teammates. So that means I can sprint, reload, and also pick up weapons with the same button. To run, all I have to do is walk forward and then tap R1. To reload, all I have to do is stop moving and tap R1. And to pick up anything, all I have to do is just look at it. And I also have crouch bounded to X, which is also my right paddle. And I have pickaxe bounded to circle, which is also my left paddle, which means that most of the buttons that I use are bounded to something. Or the buttons that I tap do more than one thing. And I know you may be thinking this is going to mess me up, but I separated them by groups, which means I can't tap them unless I'm in build mode, edit mode, or in general mode. And that way I won't make a mistake and tap something that I'm not supposed to. I'm gonna reapply these to R1 so you can see that it's possible. I could sprint with R1. The floor button does pop up, but you're still gonna be able to place floors. If you go down to general, you will see reload and use. Remind you, this is in a different group, so it does apply. And just so I can prove that you can bind anything, I'm going to bind crouch because it's in a different group. And I want you to see what happens when I tap R1. It's instant crouching and sprinting at the same time. That's because they're overlapped, and that's exactly why I'm glitching out like that. Now let's say I got a little momentum, and as you can see, I'm sliding now. And that's because when you sprint and then crouch, you'll slide. But since the buttons are together, it's making me do it automatically. And that's just proof that you can overlap buttons. And you don't have to use R1. I just use R1 because it's more out of the way. But you can use any button you want to. But pay attention to what you're binding and pick what you're using wisely. By the way, the only time that this won't work is if you're trying to overlap your pickaxe, your switch mode, or your edit button. And yes, if you're wondering, I can still place floors. But remember, the key is to make sure that they're in different groups. Movement, general, weapon, targeting, building, simple build, edit. And you're pretty much fine as long as they're in different groups. Now it's time for me to explain how everything works. I walk forward and press R1. I can sprint. The only time I have to tap my action buttons is because I don't have it bonded to a paddle. But remind you, I only have 2 paddles. If I had 4, then I would be able to bind it to every single action button that I have. But once again, that's based on the type of controller that you have. I can drop my weapons, and as you can see, I can pick them all up with R1. And of course, I can still sprint with R1. And sprint only works as long as I'm moving forward. If I'm not moving forward, I'm not going to sprint. Now I'm holding L1 and tapping my paddles to get to my different weapons. And I'm doing all of these things without touching any action buttons at all. As you can see, I can also crouch as well. Now let's just say I'm box fighting, right? I can drop weapons easily, I can pick them up easily, I can sprint and run out of boxes, I can crouch as many times as I want to, I can edit and crouch as many times as I want to, and if I wanted to, I can sprint edit. It just makes it that much easier. I can sprint and slide. I can toggle to and from any weapon that I want to, and specifically just that, just like I play keyboard and mouse. And the one thing about quick weapon is if you tap L1 with any gun in your hand, it'll go to the first slot and nothing but that. That makes it easy for me to pull my pump shotgun out whenever I need it. Now it's time to talk about controller add-ons. If you join my server, which is in the description, and go to my setup, you'll see everything that I have. You see everything that I have and everything that I'm using. More importantly, if you work your way up to the top, you see all of my controller add-ons. And I'm not a sponsor or anything like that, but Extreme has the best add-ons known to mankind. I'm talking about Nintendo, PS4, PS5. If it's a controller, most likely they're going to have an add-on for it on their website. They got trigger stoppers up here for $12, and pretty much everything that they sell is going to be cheap. The really good stuff is like $9 to $30 each. The only time something is going to cost a lot is if you have more than one thing in that kit. Just make sure that you buy it through Amazon, because Amazon has better updates and it ships faster. Imagine buying a scuff controller for 1, 2, 3, 4 different parts that you don't have on your regular controller, versus buying those parts individually for like $50 and then applying them yourself. You're still going to get the same outcome. I had these add-ons on my controller for like a year now, not gonna lie, and I haven't seen a problem at all. Just don't forget to scan your codes and watch the tutorial and pay attention. If you got hands and eyes, it should be easy. It's not that hard. Don't forget to use code Frizzy3X in the Fortnite item shop before you purchase any items. Any love and support will be appreciated, but this is just one way to show love and support. Also, shout out to Pump. That little nigga crazy. He was one of the first subscribers that I met. I'm playing a game one day, next thing you know, I got a friend request. I'm like, who is this? He said, I watch your YouTube. Now he gang for life. I don't think he knows it, but that really made my day. And this was just me gifting him a hero skin that he wanted. He's always showing love and support, so I'm like, you know, why not? But use code Frizzy3X. Let's get back into it. Keeping your binds the same in every group. Just in case you guys didn't know, you can crouch and sprint with your build mode out and your edit mode out. I know a lot of times a lot of controller players don't realize this, so they'll just switch different modes just so they can sprint or so they can crouch. Whole time you can do that while having your map in your hand or while editing. Not only that, you can customize your directional buttons. My down D-pad is my inventory, my left D-pad is my emote button, my right D-pad is my map button, and pretty much I'm doing this to make sure that if I'm in a situation where I have to drop loot to my teammate or material, I can get to that button really fast instead of having to bring my thumb all the way up to the top of my controller to tap the top D-pad when I can just instantly tap down. Now boom, I'm in my inventory. Small things like this do matter a lot. Now it's time to talk about fixing common flaws in Fortnite that we don't talk about. Have you ever been in a situation where you're fighting somebody and your teammates knock and you got the person that's rushing you guys really weak and you're about to get the kill and whatnot, and then out of nowhere, boom, you pick up your teammate? We all know at that point, it's pretty much too late. This right here is the problem. Reload/use. This could also be the cause of you swapping your weapons. Let's say you're in a box fight, right? Now let's say in the middle of the fight, I'm trying to reload. If I'm standing over anything that has an option for me to pick it up and I'm trying to reload, I'm going to pick up those things. And you don't even have to look directly at it. Let's say this gold shotgun is my teammate, right? And it's right behind me. I'm not looking at it at all, right? But I'm in this corner with him. So therefore, I'm still going to pick it up even if I'm not trying to. That's because while you tap the reload button, you're also interacting. And this is going to happen every time as long as you're around something that you can interact with. The only time it's okay to have this bonded, reload/use is if you're aware of it. If you're not aware, you don't know what's happening or why it's happening, don't even do it. But if you have extra buttons, the best thing to do is just to separate them. Use is in general and reload is in weapon. Let's say you have the controller instant reset button bonded, but every time you go to reset, it looks like this. But it's supposed to automatically select the wall. If it doesn't, then you don't have reset builder's choice on. Also, you want to make sure that you don't look down or super high when trying to reset a wall. You want to look directly out into space. Now your instant reset button should work properly. In-game trigger stopper trick. I said that's so weird, bruh. Basically, you'll be making your select R1 and you'll be making your confirm L1. If you do this, you'll be swapping out your spongy triggers for your more so clicky triggers, which is at the top. And of course, you would have to swap your reset out. This used to be my go-to. To be honest, it made me a way better fighter, like a way better fighter. I'm not as used to it as I was before because I went back. And I'm going to tell you exactly why I went back. But I guarantee you, it does make a difference and you will be slightly faster. If anything, it's going to make your edits dumb fast. During that hero season, I was using this and that was like the best I ever played. Like mechanically, like fighting wise, to be honest, that was the best I ever fought. Like I was a fighter and I didn't have a problem being a fighter, you know? But to be honest, I'm just not used to it. That's why you see me messing up. But if I was, I would be going crazy. As you can see, I'm pressing reset to edit and I'm just glitching it out. I'm tapping the reset button to confirm into it's swapped, you know. And the one thing that I missed the most is that I could make boxes really easily. And that's only because since my finger was on L1, I could place cones almost instantly because as soon as I confirm my edit, it would place a cone. And whenever it came down for me to rebox or like, you know, box up trying to fight, it would be so much easier to do it. But having your settings like this gives you a flaw. Let's say I'm trying to do a triple edit. Remind you, my confirm button is L1. Cone is L1. So every single time I confirm my edit, a cone is going to place. And if you're trying to do a triple edit and place ramps, it's going to place a cone. And it's just going to mess your momentum up. And if you play edit on release, you won't have this problem. But me, in my case, I don't play edit on release. So I have to press a confirm to confirm my edits. So it's safe to say that if you play edit on release, you won't have this problem. Also, your select button is R1 and by default it's R2. If you plan on spamming triple edits, you're going to have to remove your finger from R1 and then slide it down to R2 to put a wall because your wall button is now R1. A famous controller player that we all know named is Sero. He also has his binds like this, but he's so comfortable with it that he doesn't mind it. And I'm going to show you some proof real quick. This man is so tough. But play this first clip again. That's so fire. But look, as he goes out to do a triple edit, he confirms. He's about to confirm. Slow it down. I'm gonna cut down the music too. He confirms his cone and floor edit, and he's trying to put a wall, but because his confirm button is L1, which is cone, it's gonna place a cone before he can place that wall. That's why he puts a cone and then a wall. See, right here, he's looking to the top right. He's trying to go up, but he instantly noticed that he put a cone down. So he's not trying to mess up the clip, so he's gonna go to the left side to avoid getting on top of the cone. You see? But as you can see, he's still pretty crazy. He's really fast. And that's what it does. It makes you extremely fast when it comes to editing. But with that being said, that is the end of this video. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate each and every one of y'all so much. Thank y'all for showing up. Like I always said, you can do whatever you want. It's crazy because last time I said this, I was trying to master a skill. Tell me why I mastered that in like 3 other ones. I can edit AMVs. I can make beats now. I can do anything you can imagine. I'm pretty much learning everything. That's because I put my mind to it. And you can do the same thing no matter what it is. And don't forget that. But anyways, peace out. Hope y'all have a good one and bye. Cantaloupe wine milk.